guys? Bass drop keys, your friendly neighborhood Negro and a rookie mycologist. I want to welcome you all to my brand new mushroom YouTube channel. So everything that you're going to watch on this channel is me doing it for the very first time. All this channel is one person's journey to try to teach themselves how to grow mushrooms. In the last video, we covered the break and shake part of the Uncle Ben's tech. It's whenever you have at least 20 to 30% of your grain colonized, you come in and you break up the mycelium. What that does is it gives us more inoculation points, which means it's going to colonize even faster. So no matter if you're using the Uncle Ben's tech with the Uncle Ben bags right here, or you're using grain or popcorn or whatever it is that you're using as your grain spawn, whenever you see that it's 20 to 30% colonized, you want to break it up. And by doing this, we get more inoculation points, and that's going to actually make it colonize even faster. So guys, now you can see that I have all the bags done. Whenever I inoculated the bags, I didn't use a liquid culture. I used a multi-spore syringe. So we did the break and shake on day 15. This is day 17. It's only been 2 days since we did the break and shake, and you can see through the viewing window at the bottom of the bags that the colonization of the rice has sped up. All those inoculation points that we created by doing the break and shake are really working, and right now we're having a vigorous growth of the mycelium. It's day 19, and I'm continuing to maintain the temperature in between 75 and 81 degrees Fahrenheit as the mycelium continues to grow. It's day 22, and some of the viewing windows are starting to fill up. All right, so it's day 24, 9 days since we did the break and shake. And you can see that the front row, the entire rice cake has been fully colonized. The ones in the back have been fully colonized as well, except there's 2 of them, that one right there, and then the one that's on the very end on the left, they still has some loose grains that I can feel, that one right there. But everything else is fully colonized and pretty much rock hard and ready to go to the next step. The next step, once your grain is fully colonized, whatever grain you're using, is you're gonna mix it with your bulk substrate. Just recently here on the channel, we made our bulk substrate. That's what you see me doing right now. So what we're doing today is, it's called spawn to bulk, which means that we're gonna take our colonized grain, which is our rice, and we're gonna mix it with our bulk substrate. So that way the bulk substrate can colonize and we'll be able to grow our mushrooms. And real quickly here, I do want to shout out the place that I got this information, Philly Golden Teacher. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel and you're interested in mushrooms, definitely subscribe to his channel. He has a lot of great information that anybody who wants to grow mushrooms can really use. To do this, some people use big mono tubs. Some people like to use what they call shoe boxes, which is just shoebox size plastic containers that you can mix the substrate in and let the mushrooms grow in there. What you're looking at right here is a 12-quart shoebox. Normally, whenever somebody is talking about a shoebox, they're talking about the 6-quart containers. This is a 12-quart. But no matter if you're using a 6-quart, 12-quart, a big mono tub, max yield bin, whatever you're using, the process is going to be the same. So the first thing that I'm doing, as you guys can see, is I want to make sure that I wipe down everything with the 70% iso alcohol. So I sprayed my gloves, I sprayed the inside of the bin, the scissors, the trash bag that you're going to see in just a second, even the Uncle Ben bags that we colonized. Make sure everything is clean before you start. So now that we have everything clean, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trash bag, and we're going to use this trash bag as a liner. Trash bags are really cheap and they work perfect for this application. So I sprayed the trash bag with the ISO, put it inside of the 12-quart container, and then I wiped down everything. I didn't want the ISO just sitting in there, but you do want to have everything sterilized and clean. Now that we have the liner taken care of, the next thing that we have to do is we have to open up our rice bags, which I'm excited to do. In the beginning of this video, I showed you the process of how we got here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the top of the bag and open it up. I do want to mention that before I open up the bag, I did grab a mask that I had here at the house. The reason I did that is I've read so much and seen so many videos about people accidentally inhaling some contaminated spores, and that can make you very sick. So just in case there's some contamination in here that I don't see, because this is my first time, I don't want to get sick. So right now I do have on a mask just to help out. So as you look through the viewing window, you can see that everything looks colonized. I cut open the bag and look at this. There's still some rice in here that hadn't been colonized. I would say 90% of all the rice in here has already been colonized, but no matter, I'm still going to use this anyway. I don't smell anything sweet or anything sour or anything like that. If you smell something sweet or you smell something, some funky kind of smell, that means that your rice is contaminated. You should smell like an earthy mushroom type of smell. And I know whenever I was watching videos on how to do this, I was like, well, what did that smell like? But trust me, whenever you inoculate your grain and your mycelium starts growing, you'll be able to smell it. It has a great earthy smell to it that I'm already loving. So as you can see, I have the first bag poured out. You can see that big mycelium ball right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to break it up. We want to break everything up as much as we can. To break this up is not too much work. You just want to break it up into small pieces, back into small grains if you can. Once I do that, I'm going to do 2 more bags. This is my first time doing this, as I told you guys, so I really don't know how many bags I should do for each container. So we're just going to try it out and see what happens. On this first container, I'm doing 3 bags. So I open up the other 2, but once I get them opened up, I do the same thing. I'm just breaking it up with my hands. Remember that I did spray down my hands with ISO. You want to make sure that everything is clean. One question that nobody can answer for me that I've been asking is, you guys know that mushrooms grow on logs and manure and all type of stuff. But whenever we're not in nature and we're growing them inside, everything is always so sterile and everything. I'm like, well, why do we gotta be so sterile and clean if they grow outside in manure? You know what I'm saying? Nobody can answer that, but hey, I'm just following the rules of the industry, trying to be as clean as I can. So once you have your grain inside the liner and you have everything broke up, now it's time for us to add our substrate. Now in Philly Golden Teacher's video, he just eyeballed it and put in some handfuls and mixed it together. I was trying to give you guys like a definite amount of what you should use. So this once again is a 12-quart shoebox. I used 3 bags of rice. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put in 2 quarts of substrate. That's 8 cups. Once I have the substrate in there, I'm gonna mix everything together well. It's very important that you have your rice broke up as much as possible. We're making a little cake right here. Now, some people like to do it like lasagna and do layers, but from all the research that I've done and by looking at other people that I respect, that's not necessary. You just want to put the substrate in there with the grain, mix it together well, making sure that all the grain is broke up. You can see we have that done, no problem. Once that's done, we're going to put a casing layer of our substrate on top. You want to make sure that none of the grain is showing. Now, some people will say that this is not a true casing layer. They will call it a pseudo casing, but at any rate, we're going to add a casing layer, and you want your casing layer to be like 1/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch thick. So now that I have the casing layer on there, what I'm doing is I want to make everything even. So I'm just patting it down lightly. You don't want to pack it tight, but you want to pack it lightly and try to make it even. That's going to help us whenever the mushrooms start growing and everything starts pinning. Oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but the reason why I'm using a liner is because we don't want to have to worry about side pins. As the mycelium starts colonizing the substrate, you're going to notice that it's going to start drying out, and the side of the cake will not be touching the side of the container. And if the substrate is not touching the container, that means that air can get in there, and that will be a place that mushrooms will want to grow, and that's what's going to give us side pins. That's what we're trying to avoid. We want the mushrooms to grow on the top. So now that we have the casing layer on there and we have everything even, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up the liner. Remember that I did wipe down the scissors with the iso alcohol. So now I'm just trimming up that excess trash bag so that it's not in the way. Once you cut that away, bam, you have a fantastic liner and your substrate and grain spawn inside of your container. The last thing that we need to do before we put the lid on this is we're going to mist it with some water. Now what I have is this Flairosol bottle. It's an ultra fine mister. So I'm just going to mist the top of the substrate. You don't want to have water just sitting on top of the substrate. That's why we're using a fine mister, but you want to make sure that there's moisture and humidity inside of here. That's what's going to help the colonization and the mushrooms whenever we get to that part of it. Basically what you're doing right now is, you know how we got the rice to colonize? What we're doing now is we're making that a bigger cake so that way we can get more mushrooms. Also, I do want to mention that I do spray water on the underside of the lid as well. So you spray the top of your bulk substrate, you want to spray the bottom of your lid, and then once you put your lid on there, you're not going to open it up. You're going to put it back in your incubation box or wherever you have that you're doing it at, and you're going to keep it closed. We want to give it 7 to 10 days or 14 days in order to colonize the entire substrate. One thing that you do want to do is you want to make sure that you label everything, especially if you're going to be working with different strains. But on my label, what I have is the kind of mushrooms that I'm growing, the date that I actually did the work and put it in there. Also, I have how many bags I used. So whenever we get to the actual growing of the mushrooms and we start doing our flushes, and maybe I'll notice that, hey, this one with 2 bags did better with this one with 3 bags, or however it is. I just want to make sure I have all the information so that going forward, I can make the right decision on how to get my harvest bigger or just grow better mushrooms. Now, before I get out of here, you guys have probably noticed the sweet shirt that I'm wearing. This is the Rookie All Over shirt. If you want to support me and the channel, come over to the merch website, therookiemycologist.com. I have some great shirt designs, mugs, hoodies, slides, stickers, and I'm adding new stuff all the time. Also, before I get up out of here, obviously you guys know that my channel was deleted and that sucks. If you're interested in seeing all of my past mycology videos and all of my future mycology videos, I'm still making videos. Come over to my website. If you're one of the thousands of people who said that they started growing because of me, or I helped you out in some way as far as mycology, come over to my website, bassdropkeys.tv. Support your boy. I still am making mycology videos, so come over and check it out, bassdropkeys.tv. I really appreciate all of you. And until I see you guys the next time, I'm out, guys. Much love.